Welcome to the Moro Pigeon Show! Welcome to the Moro Pigeon Show. I'm your host, El Moro. Join me to explore the pigeon's way. We'll learn and laugh day by day. All pigeons bring us pure delight, creations from the eternal one taking flight. Let's learn from them, both big and small, into the world of pigeons. Let's give our all. With every flap, a gentle friend, in Moro's Pigeons world where wonders never end. Through YouTube's glow, their beauty takes flight. A symphony of coos, a pure delight. Where the palm trees sway nearby, white doves paint the blue sky. A spectacle for every eye, their stories soaring by.
This is El Moro Pigeon Show. I am your host, El Moro. And today I am doing a video about my friend Luthor. Hey, Luthor! Luthor Nelson in California. He lives in High Hacienda, California. He's got the best whites. He's got Pletniks. And at one point he had like over 1,000 birds, guys. So I'm putting this together for him. He's very knowledgeable. I was talking to him on the phone for a little while, and I was sharing with him about the Pletniks, and he agrees with me. It's about the phenotype of the bird when it comes to whites. He agrees with me that a lot of these pure breeds are not pure breeds anymore. They're gone. They're mixed because through the years, I mean, imagine 1830s, early 1900s. By now, all these breeds have been mixed. You know, if you sell a Jensen to somebody to raise, they would say, okay, wait, let's mix it with I got this dill bar. Let's mix it with this dill bar. You know, and then it's very hard to conserve a pure breed. You know, usually today, people tell you, this is a dill bar. Oh, it's a dill bar. And then you say, oh, nice, it's a dill bar. How do you know? Even with papers, how do you really know? See, you have to remember that way before all these guys existed, these homing pigeons were already in operation, sending messengers. But enough of that. I was talking to Mr. Nelson about that. I like speaking to him because he's very knowledgeable. He told me that when Walt Disney first brought the Pletniks to California, to Disneyland, he was a little boy and he was in that show. It was a show. I believe he was the guy. I don't know if I got his story straight. I don't know if you remember that show, Children or Kids Say the Darnest Things. So they picked him, and Disney, he saw Disney World coming out when they first opened Disneyland, and the birds and stuff like that. So he's been in California for a long time. He's been with the birds. He used to be a pastor. He used to be a pastor for like 30 years. Then he retired, and now he's doing the birds. He does anywhere. I mean, the other day I was talking to him. He said he did like one day he did 19 jobs from the biggest, largest cemetery in North America. Can you imagine that? 19 jobs, pigeons, jobs. He's got employees and everything. And the other day he did 13 jobs. I'm struggling here to do one a month, twice a month. When I used to live in Miami, in Miramar, I used to do a lot, but not nearly as close as Mr. Luthor Nelson. He is very super busy doing white dove releases. Okay, he does funerals, he does weddings, but for the most part now, he's doing more funerals than anything. Okay? All right, guys. So enjoy this small documentary that I did about him, and you see what I mean when I say he's the best in whites. Enjoy the show.
That's awesome.
White Dove Release has been serving customers in Southern California since 1989, when Pastor Luthor Nelson and his wife Susie began releasing their white homing doves at weddings, funeral services, and other special events within their congregation. The pigeons have the appearance of doves. One of their most breathtaking releases has occurred at Dodger Stadium on opening day. The doves have also appeared on Good Morning America, My Fair Wedding, Battle of the Wedding Designers, and Semi-Homemade Wedding, and dozens of advertisements and music videos. The beauty and awe of a dove release is easily attainable with White Dove Release. Contact them today about purchasing a dove release package for a wedding, funeral, or other occasion. White Dove Release is happy to answer any questions from customers about their services. What a beautiful and tangible way to pay tribute to the virtues of peace, faithfulness, and purity.
Hi, this is Davis. I am not a human but an AI voice simulation. I will be conveying to you the words that Mr. Luthor Nelson texted and also conversations he had with his friend El Moro from El Moro Pigeon Show. And Mr. Nelson said, I had the design of this trailer in my mind for over a year and finally got around to having my grandson build it for me. I have to talk into the mic. My hands barely work. I was 80% paralyzed 3 years ago. Like my Heavenly Father, I'm a creator and a builder, but now I have to communicate my design to people with the hands that can build it.
We're going to leave this one at the bottom.
Hi. I am Luthor Nelson. Let me introduce myself to all fanciers and non-fanciers across the world. I am the owner of White Dove Release. I was a former pastor for 30 years, and I am a pigeon fancier in Hacienda Heights, California, I am known for my white Belgium Pletnix racing pigeons, which are often mistaken for doves. I do releases with them for different events, but they are not true white doves. They are a specialized breed of pigeons that can fly back to my loft after an event. Releasing doves for events is a common practice, and my releases are part of the pigeon racing scene. I do an average of anywhere from 10 to 19 white dove releases a day at the largest cemetery in North America, Rose Hills Memorial Park. White Dove Release offers dove service to clients in the Los Angeles County and Orange County areas, as well as parts of Riverside and San Bernardino counties. White Dove Release has several release packages available for weddings, funerals, and other events, as well as smaller white doves for display in cages to just sit perched and look beautiful. Our lofts are located on the property of 3 homes we own that are all adjacent to one another. The lots in our development were all built with a horse corral on each. In the beginning, everyone had a horse or 2. Now the horses are all gone. We use the corral section of each home for our bird lofts. We currently have nearly 2,000 birds between the 3 properties. We chose Hacienda Heights for 2 specific reasons. 1, it is in the dead center of the LA Orange County metropolitan area. Our birds can be released almost anywhere in that area and only have to travel about 30 miles maximum. We also liked it because it had a good selection of larger lots. This is loading my young birds that are going out for training. It's a 3-level trailer holding about 200 birds per level. Every batch of young birds we start training are given a dye color on their head and a matching colored band, and their whole training time they trained as one group. We back the trailer up to each of the 3 cages. We can load 600 birds in less than 15 minutes. We do an average of 10 funerals a day. I only have 100 that can go everywhere, and my newest batch of young ones is 225, and they're up to a 10-mile radius, which includes about 80% of the cemeteries we go to. So they're just about full-time now. Then we've got about 250 young ones that are just starting their training. Some are on the roof, some are just in the patio that's covered, and some on the road about a half mile.
Get about 90 birds in about loaded. Just being chased from the inside of the cage to the ramp. They haven't done this for about 3 weeks, so they've kind of maybe forgotten a little bit. I used to do it almost every day, but probably do it a day, about all done. Well, I finally finished my 14 new baskets. Smaller side door with a larger end to keep it more rigid. I got 14 up now with the nice new green AstroTurf at the bottom of them. And they should last a good while. We've got a new acrylic kind of paint on them. So this should professional grade acrylic paint should last a lot longer. And we'll see how they work. Built them here in 2019.
I was born on a Minnesota farm but moved to Garden Grove, California when I was 4 years old. I raised chickens, rabbits, rats, mice, parakeets, cockatiels, lovebirds, etc., but my favorite I always came back to was pigeons. My first ones were captured at night in the attic of an abandoned home with my best friend Wayne Purcell. The white pigeon attraction began at San Juan Capistrano Mission when I was 7 or 8. They had a beautiful flock around the fountain and sold food to hand feed the birds. I remember thinking, someday, when I get enough money, I am going to have a flock of pure white pigeons, just like the ones at San Juan Capistrano. Even as a teenager and a young man in my 20s, one of my favorite things to do was build another pigeon loft, bigger and better than the last. The actual business, however, didn't start till I was 39 when I was the pastor of Trinity Lutheran Church in Norwalk, California. The trigger for starting the business was the funeral of a pillar of the church named Rose Leslie. She was 104 and wanted me to help plan her funeral that was imminent. As we were talking about it, she said she felt like an 18-year-old girl trapped in an old body that was holding her down. She was very active till her last weeks of life. She just wanted to get out of this old cage and fly home to Jesus. I told her that reminded me of my racing pigeons. I take them out in a small cage and let them go and they fly home. We agreed that would make a great visual aid for her family at her graveside service, so I brought some. When I saw the impact that release had on the family, my brain began to spin. In my preaching, I always sought to bring some type of visual aid to my message. Something that people could see that would help explain my point. Something that would help them remember the point. This is something Jesus often did in his preaching. He was always comparing his thought to something his people could see: the lilies, the birds, the stones, the path, bread, water, etc. To me, these birds and their ability to go home pointed to the eternal principle that inside the heart of every believer, there is a desire to go home one day to be with the Lord forever. I saw how that thought could bring home the point of our one day going home. Although I had never heard of or seen a release at a funeral, I began picturing a release of white pigeons at the interment. I didn't know if it was possible to get a large flock of white pigeons, but I began the search. Since Google did not exist in 1989, that wasn't real easy. I told one of my elders at my church, Stan Ludin, to keep his eyes opened. One day he was raking pine needles off the front lawn of Sierra Bullets in Santa Fe Springs. The plant manager, Wally Davis, a pigeon owner himself, came out and began talking with Stan. He figured a perfect stranger raking pine needles off his front lawn had to be a pigeon owner too. Stan found out that Wally had a large flock of white racing pigeons. When he was asked if he wanted to sell any, he said no, but I could come look at them. I went to see them and fell in love with them. The problem was, he didn't want to sell any. I told him if he changed his mind to let me know. A week later he gave me a call. I will sell you birds on 2 conditions. 1. You buy all 50 of them, and 2. You pick them up today. I said, what changed? He said, the state of Missouri has offered to move Sierra Bullets to their state and give us free rent for 5 years, and we couldn't turn them down. I have to leave tomorrow to begin making plans there. He wanted $1 per bird and I bought them. I saw that as a miracle fulfilling the 30-year-old dream of a young boy.
And so it's bon voyage to
Happy New Year to the McQueen High School Lancer Band, directed by Rick Moffat. They're from Reno, Nevada.
The Lutheran Laymen's League has been awarded the Princess Trophy for the most beautiful entry under 35 feet in length. In keeping with the teachings and traditions of Christianity, the Lutheran Laymen's League theme this year brings us Jesus Welcomes All. You will see doves released, there they go, as sign of peace to begin 2014. That's lovely. Where do they go? Do they come back to where they were released from? I think they do. Cheerful greenery leads to a classic church with stained glass windows of white small lima beans, fine cut straw flower and statice, and red small kidney beans. Beautiful work this year. The designs in the windows include several natural materials to create color and texture, and were all hand-added by volunteers. The pedal pushers, you know, the Lutheran Laymen's League committee of 5,000 volunteers, they decorate their float and lots of others.
Well, God bless them. They win the Princess Award. Okay, now it's hard for me to...
As the business grew in Hacienda Heights, I realized my third of an acre lot was not going to house the number of birds I would need for running this business. 2 years after moving to Hacienda Heights, I bought the next-door neighbor's home, another third of an acre. I rented out the home to Francisco Becerra, my second full-time loft manager, who was also able to do funerals in Spanish. There I built 2 more lofts that held another 500 birds. It was about this time that we took on Nancy Green as secretary to assist Susie in taking orders and scheduling the jobs in our home office. She is an old friend from Trinity. Again, the business grew, and I felt more property was necessary to house birds that would be used entirely for breeding only. This allowed the flyers to not be bothered with tending babies. I do let the flyers raise 1 round a year, but that is not enough to keep the business going. I then bought another third of an acre home on the east side of our home for breeders only. On the back portion of that lot, I built breeding lofts and rented out the front house to a wonderful family. At the time of writing this, we have over 1,500 birds total on the 3 lots. Besides the white racing pigeons, I fly some tipplers, Armenian and Iranian high flyers, and rollers just for enjoyment. 90% of our work is in the funeral industry, but we enjoy many of the other jobs we get. They include, of course, weddings, quinceañeras, bat and bar mitzvahs, graduations, grand openings, a variety of memorial events, filming jobs for TV, advertising, a variety of videos, Disneyland and Knott's Berry Farm special events, Los Angeles Dodgers opening day, and a variety of Walk for Life type events. We consider this more than just a business. It is a ministry bringing comfort to the grieving and added joy to a multitude of celebrations. To God be the glory, great things He has done. Amen.
And this is it, guys. I did this video between cleaning my loft, working with my pigeons, and coming here and doing the video. I did it during the course of maybe 5 days, maybe more. Okay, so this is the video about Luthor Nelson. He has the largest pigeon business, white dove release in the whole United States. I love this guy, man. I love talking to him on the phone, and I love what he does. I really like the way he's got his birds. In the beginning of the video, I said he only had like 1,000, but I was reading his website that at one point he had 2,000 birds. Okay, 2,000 birds. Okay, he inspired me to make another loft. Oh, my wife's not here. He inspired me to make another loft just for the flyers. Because what I have right now, I'm going to leave for the breeders so they can breed. Then I'm going to make another loft in the future, y'all willing, for the flyers. What a great idea. What a great idea. Yes. Okay, and I like that he has also tipplers. He has high flyers. I want also to put the high flyers, but I don't have the room. But I do have some tippler mixes, which I mix with my Spanish powders. And I have my new breed right now, new cross, is called Primogenitos, which is a thief powder mixed with the homing pigeon, long distance homing pigeon, and with the tippler. And they have given me very good results. Anyway, but this video is about Luthor Nelson, guys. I hope you guys like the video. I hope Mr. Luthor likes the video. And thank you so much for taking the time to looking at this video, guys. This is a piece of history because he's old already. So this is we're all getting old. This is a piece of history that we have to know. We have pigeon guys, we have to know. Okay, guys, I'm doing a lot of things. So, hey, love your pigeons and have a blessed day.
Thank you.